Hey guys, what's going on? Back with another Cold War Zombies video. As you can see by the title, this is going to discuss the possibility of someone following Sam and Eddie into our new world, I guess I'm going to call it, in Cold War Zombies. Maybe following them as they got older, maybe even watching them as they got older, I guess you can say. Because there's a lot of clues that are given, and I usually do this. I did it with Black Ops 4. I try sometimes not to do it immediately because it kind of spoils and ruins stuff for people. So if you don't want to know what possibly might be coming at the end of Cold War, I wouldn't watch this. It does kind of ruin it. And again, I tell people I do this just to kind of test myself or to kind of document, like almost like a digital journal or digital diary, to see if any of it's going to come true. Just as a guess, as theories and stuff like that. But again, it could possibly solve what is coming, because a lot of the clues, hints, Easter eggs all add up. And I tell people one or two things might be coincidence, but when Treyarch lays out like a whole line of breadcrumbs, it could mean that they're hinting at stuff. And again, they did this throughout Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, even Black Ops 2. If you go back and look at some of the advertising, some of the stuff in cutscenes, even some stuff in games, it could have hinted what was coming later down the road. So with all that being said, again, if you don't want to be spoiled, because a lot of stuff do add up, again, like I said, and it could mean or show that maybe Richtofen or someone follow them into the new world, I guess I'll call it, or the new game, which is Cold War. And again, it's because we're winding down to the end of Cold War Zombies. It's probably gonna have a big cliffhanger. It's probably gonna, leapfrog over Vanguard, because it's probably gonna go cliffhanger and then into Vanguard, as they mentioned, is gonna be setting up everything. Then probably the next game after that, let's just say hypothetically, Modern Warfare or even the next Black Ops, it's gonna have it's probably going to finish off Cold War, so they're kind of maybe jumping back and forth in the timeline. So it might be a while before we see if any of this comes true or not. So a lot of it, again, are stuff that they've given us. We just have to look at it deeply, or a lot deeper. A lot of visual Easter eggs. It seems obviously something that Jason Blundell started. And again, even back in Black Ops 2, there's a lot of visual Easter eggs, and for some reason, even myself, there's some stuff that I might have missed, and you go back and look at it a second time from a different angle. Maybe the more the story has developed, and it can be easier solved now. So with all that being said, if you look at the Requiem logo, there's so many clues now that we probably can look at that might hint at stuff. I know people that are bad at Easter eggs, or they have favorite YouTubers, they're gonna just say that you're pulling at straws or looking or reaching at stuff. But a lot of those people aren't the ones that solve stuff anyway, so why would I listen to them, or why would you listen to them? You have to look and start understanding how Treyarch does visual Easter eggs, how they're there for a reason. Nothing is done accidentally, or nothing is done without a purpose or a reason. So again, if you're staring at the Requiem logo, you might now start being able to piece stuff together. I'm just gonna go down the line, and I'm gonna probably jump back and forth, because honestly, sometimes I don't remember how I even put this in order, because I usually just put it all in a slideshow, and then just kind of hit record, and then whatever happens happens, so to speak. So as you can see, there's a lot of symbolism that they do in the logo, hinting at maybe, of course, we know now, like I said, a lot of it's easier to figure out now, that Eddie or Richtofen might be the director of Requiem, or some form of Eddie. Maybe the younger one with the blood vials and stuff like that, maybe he had some blood vials that he was saving for himself. I don't go too much into theories, just showing you the stuff that's there. So again, more clues showing that the logo skull is showing that basically his brain is getting blown out, similar to what happened to Richtofen in the end of Tag Your Totem cutscene, how maybe this new Eddie knew what happened. Obviously, he was there, probably in the forest with them, so he probably remembers what happened to Richtofen. And they're all kind of connected to each other. You know, all the Richtofens are somewhat connected to each other. So that's one clue that it looks like. How, if you look at it now, again, there's a lot of stuff in Black Ops 4, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2 similar to this. How there's so many clues that are given, but we just have to stop and, I guess, look at the forest, as Jason Blundell used to say. So the one first clue is the Requiem skull is also getting his brains blown out. So that's one thing. So if you look at the bottom of the logo, it says Visceramus Mortem, or Visceramus Mortem, which translates into conquered death, and I guess it's obviously Latin. A lot of stuff in zombies is done through the Latin language, especially in the Chaos story at one point. So conquered death. So if you Google, and it's not that I'm purposely doing this, if you Google it, the number one search result that's going to come up for conquered death is going to be about Jesus and how he overcame death. So, and obviously it's all going to tie together because Revelations was the DLC 4 for Black Ops 3, and it says when you, again, I didn't do that, I left it in there, but if you even eliminate all the stuff after Conquered Death, it's still going to come up with Jesus and Revelations and stuff like that. So I don't know why I kept that in there. It just happened to, like I said, just do this really quickly. So if you just Google Conquered Death, I don't think I did anything after that, but I just happened to fill in there at one point. So it's kind of maybe clicking around trying to look for stuff even deeper. So if you just type in Conquered Death, more than likely it's going to talk about how Jesus, it says, I am he that lived and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen, and have the keys of hell and of death. But again, you just got to kind of type in Conquered Death, read up about it, and a lot of it is how Jesus was put on the cross, and he was there to bleed out, but then he lived and came back to life, resurrected and all that stuff. That's why we have Easter and stuff like that. I'm not going to go too much into the religious stuff, but if you Google Conquered Death, it's more than likely going to come up on number one search as Revelations, and about how Jesus conquered death. So again, it's all symbolic and ties together with Richtofen bleeding out symbolically, like on the cross, and he's left there to bleed out. And again, he probably died and came back to life. I don't know if Victus helped him. Maybe the younger Eddie somehow traveled there and helped him. Again, I don't do too many theories, but all we know is that he was left there to bleed out. Primus and Ultimus leave. We don't know what happens to Richtofen, if somebody saved him, but more than likely somebody did come back and save him. Maybe Monty, Shadowman, Victus, Eddie. So there's a high possibility somebody might have came back to help him. Or it could be a mystery person that we don't know yet, that was watching the events and wanted to for some reason save him. Again, if you know the symbolism and stuff like that, it's symbolic of how Jesus was left on the cross and he was bleeding out, and you even see the blood in Richtofen's hands, kind of like the blood in Jesus' hands and stuff like that, where he was nailed to the cross. I think that's the last one. Okay, so that's just a couple clues. I don't know if there's anything else, but if you kind of look at what, again, Treyarch has given us, the Latin phrase, Requiem. Did I forget Requiem? Requiem translates into something, but I totally forget. I probably forgot to add that in, didn't I? But I forgot what that translates into. Maybe I left it out because it didn't translate into something I felt that was very important, so I didn't want it to look like I was, again, drawing at straws or desperately reaching for some connection. Again, I don't know if anybody can come up with anything else, but if you look at the stars, there's 6 stars. I don't know what that could mean. Oh, okay, the most important thing. I could be so silly sometimes. So, as you know, that's the whole reason I did this. You have Sam and Eddie walking into the new world, holding hands. And if you look at the stars, so that could be Sam and Eddie and a third person following them into the new world. So again, this is probably one of the more important things. So you have, I guess they don't want to put it too close to each other, maybe it'd be a little bit too obvious, but you have Sam and Eddie or Eddie and Sam, and then somebody behind followed them in to the new world. So those are again more clues that Treyarch has given us. I think if I had to take a stab at it, I would say yeah, it's probably Richtofen got somehow brought back to life. Um, Someone brought him back to life, and he somehow followed them into the new world. Maybe I don't know, maybe he'll be the one that ended up starting all this. Somehow, I don't know exactly. And the only other thing I want to point out is a lot of times Treyarch does start storylines, and as you know, stuff happens. They're now in charge of zombies in Cold War. Maybe they're really busy, COVID-19 stuff. So this might have been an angle that they were going to go down. Maybe they're going to save it for a couple games down the road. Maybe we'll see it immediately. Um, but more than likely, somehow, maybe Richtofen or one of the Richtofens came back to life or followed them in um, to the new world. Again, a lot of stuff is obvious if we just stop and like look at it. Sam and Eddie, and then somebody, a third person, they're walking that way. Follow them into the light because it looks like it's going that way. Again, there's a lightning bolt, maybe hinting at Blood of the Dead. I don't know what else. I know there's a big like world and globe behind that, so I don't know if that means anything. Or that could be like the Apothecon blue being that maybe helped Richtofen, brought him back to life. Because that could be what that could be symbolized. I don't have it here, but his name was Phase, I believe, was a blue Apothecon being that maybe he's the one that brought him back to life or something like that. Which would all tie in perfectly, again. But these are just some stuff that I want to point out. Again, this is a quote about Jesus. Richtofen was left on the machine, kind of like Jesus. Sam and Eddie and somebody followed them into the new world. Richtofen getting his skull blown in. I don't know what the 6 stars could mean. That has to mean something. But I don't know exactly. Anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. Just a couple things I wanted to piece together to show you guys. I'll see you guys later.